रेडियो जिंदगी 1170 AM पे वेलकम लिसनर्स, मैं हूं आपके साथ में ईरा एंड वेलकम टू द शाह पिराली लॉ शो. Yes, it is time once again when I have Shah Peerally on air with us. He is the founder, president and managing attorney of the Shah Peerally Law Group, which is right here in Newark, California. He is a member of the American Immigration Lawyers Association as well as the State Bar of California. He is a passionate advocate of human rights, civil rights, social action and social services, and he has a strong interest in and knowledge of the political legal system in the US. He formed his law group to work on the causes he feels most ardent about. The law group focuses on immigration law with an emphasis on employment-based immigration, and he helps his clients all over the US. Offices in Newark में, San Francisco में and Washington DC में. लिसनर्स, अगर आप उनसे बात करना चाहते हैं, कोई भी सवाल है आपको इमिग्रेशन को लेकर, आप खास करके फोन कर सकते हैं ड्यूरिंग द शो. स्टूडियो नंबर है 510-657-1170. He is on air with us till 11 a.m. So if you have any questions anytime throughout the show, you are more than welcome to call us. आप फोन कीजिए on 510-657-1170 पर. That's 510-657-1170. शाह पीरली को अगर आप डायरेक्टली बात करना चाहते हैं, उनसे अपॉइंटमेंट लेना चाहते हैं, if you want to consult with him after the show, then you can call him on 510-742-5887. That's 510-742-5887. That's the office number for after the show, and the website is peerallylaw.com. That's peerallylaw.com. Office in Newark में 37600 Central Court, Suite 202 Newark. So definitely get in touch with him for anything immigration. So without any further ado now, hi Shah, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for the nice introduction as usual, and thank you for being here for us. And today we are September 23rd, and we are going to be live and taking the course, and we're going to talk about employment-based immigration mostly, but you can ask questions on anything immigration, family petition, you name it, and we will be glad to answer. And before I start, of course, anything I'm going to tell you today is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. So, any question on your side before we start, Ira, or I'll just jump into the issues that we are facing now?
No, right now I don't have any questions, but I do encourage the listeners to call in 510-657-1170. And meanwhile, we wait for our callers to call in and ask a question. Shah, let's get started. What are we talking about today?
Well, we are going to talk a little bit about, of course, the visa bulletin. We talked about that last week with Sharif, and it didn't come out yet, so it might be good news coming because we are hopefully going to see a jump for EB2 and EB3. A lot of people are expecting the EB3 to actually kind of go up, and I'm expecting both of them to go up. Now, the question is that how is EB1 going to behave? And that too, we are expecting EB1 also to make a huge leap forward. So let's hope and pray that things will get better for all of us, because waiting time has been really horrible, and 2020 has not really been that great of a year, as everybody knows. So the question is, what is next? What can we expect? Well, people do have high hopes. If the government changes, and as they have, people have been promised that all these green cards, backlogs, and everything, it will start clearing. It will go leap forward in the lottery system. The cap will be lifted. So there is so much that people are counting on right now. Exactly, and right now people need hope. We are really living in times of. This year has been probably a pile up of so many weird things that probably most of the four last generations has ever seen, except maybe World War II. Even that, we had World War II. Now, it seems like we have a permanent war going on all over the place, not only against humans, between humans and humans, we also are fighting a virus, plus economic downturn everywhere around the world. I don't know any country which is actually spared, and unfortunately this is affecting everything that we do on a daily basis, right? Our jobs, our income, the future of our children, and climate change to pile up on that. It's really kind of a horror story. Every time you wake up, you hope it was just a movie that you watch, and now it's going to get better. A lot of people hoping that 2021 will be a lot better, but I have bad news. I think 2021 might be worse, unfortunately, because all this, what you're seeing still going through, many people are pretty much working with what called their savings, their reserves, and once this is depleted, we might not see a better change. Probably for the next 4 or 5 years, things are going to get really bad. Now, the question that a lot of people are asking, what happens to immigration? What do we expect? Well, the thing is that we have mixed messages, right? Like Sharif was saying, we are seeing a lot of good things happening while all these bad things happening at the same time. And today I wanted to congratulate the team, especially IDT in the office, who won 5 H1B cases, 6 actually, in a row. All of them got approved.
That's
Only
amazing.
2 of them had. Yeah, that was really music to my ears when I heard it today. And then also suddenly we just got all the approvals coming at the same time. And also we've seen last week also Sharif was saying he got a bunch of approvals. So this means at least we are seeing a move from USCIS, which is something good. We can really kind of relate to that and say, you know what, things are going to get better. Let us work on now having things work out. But at the same time, we're seeing a lot of people getting stuck. Another good news also I got is someone called and then his visa was stuck and he just got the visa yesterday. So it seems like things are moving. Now the question is, how long will it be moving? Is it moving because we are just in an election time? There are a lot of reasons. For example, we know that our actual president is trying to really kind of have people from India be happy with him, especially now that Kamala is running for the vice president. So those things might be temporary, but we're hoping it's not. So the other reason also we're seeing approvals is like the court blocked couple of those memos that was really kind of blocking the H1B. So these are some good news that we are seeing. But having said that, cases are getting tough. So when cases are being filed, it is important that people understand that it's no longer just pushing papers, right? It's really requiring some legal analysis. Those cases I mentioned earlier that IDT kind of work on, and with me, these were cases that actually were based pretty much mostly on what we call the legal analysis. We really kind of hammered them with the law, and then it really worked. So the same approach that Sharif also was mentioning last week is, if you take an approach which is very the same approach that we used to take back in the days, it doesn't work. The approach that most lawyers were taking and most people do take is what we call the factual approach. Is what I call the factual approach, actually. And what I mean factual approach is that you use all the facts, you keep pressuring it, say, okay, this is my fact, so it makes sense that you approve it. But it's not working this way. You have to explain the law to the adjudicator, to the person who's actually working on the case, because many times they are not aware of the law. And what it does when they are not aware of the law, they don't get a chance to really kind of work with you. So it is important to educate the adjudicator, just like we educate a judge when we go for a hearing. The same thing when you're dealing with an immigration case. You're talking about a situation where you are kind of talking to a judge, but on paper. So when you present the case, if you don't explain the law and then you put the facts and then you take the facts and you apply it to the law, it's not going to work. And that's where many people fail. And the same cases that when they come to me, they have gotten denial, we file it with the same facts. We have not changed the facts because facts cannot really change. Guess what? We get an approval. The reason for that is really like this approach of merging the law and the facts. And that's why it's important to have a lawyer. It used to be back in like 10 years ago when I became a lawyer, actually. Well, not 10 years ago. I became a lawyer longer time than that. But until 10 years ago, when we were looking at what we call immigration consultants, which technically doesn't supposed to exist in the U.S., those people who pretend to be attorneys, they will file cases without a license,
right.
And they will get away with many cases because it was just a matter of filling a bunch of papers and then translating for the people.
Shah, we have a caller here. If you would just pause that thought?
Sure.
Let's take this call. Hello, hello, you're on air?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, please ask your question.
Yeah, good morning, attorney. How are you?
1 second. I think I just lost Shah's call. Okay, we have Shah Peerally on air with us once again. Yes, Shah, I have the caller. Ma'am, you can ask your question.
Yes.
Good morning,
Hi.
attorney. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Attorney, my name is Amina, and I just want to ask a question about the visiting visa. You know, my brother planning to come on Christmas, so can he apply right now or not?
Yes, he can definitely apply. People are getting visitor visa in many places if the embassy is open. The only problem is to get an appointment, which is happening also, but and as long as they believe that he's genuine, he's going to go back and he can prove, like, for example, if he has a job, he has businesses there, etc., they should be able to
Yeah, I did his petition like 5 years ago, and now you know that he just want to come. He has his business back home. He has a, daughter, family, He has his own house, so he just want to come for visit, for a couple of months and my daughter's graduation, and after that maybe he will go in 2 or 3 months.
Okay. Just make sure you write a letter. You just invite him, and in the letter you explain why you want him to come for your daughter's graduation, etc. And hopefully he should get it, inshallah. Okay?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling in. We have another caller who's holding on to the line. Let's take this call. Hello, you're on air with Attorney Shah Peerally.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Shah. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. So I really appreciate your law firm because my EB1A got approved through Sharif tell me last week. So,
Congratulations.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I'm just calling to really appreciate you for your services. Without you, I wouldn't have been in this position. I could have probably gone back to India because I went to so-called reputed immigration attorneys in the country, and all of them said it is impossible to get your case won. Okay? But I approached Sharif through my friend, and then, he told it's 100% possible to get it approved, and he got it done. So I really appreciate you. Me and my family are very, very happy about this, and I want to thank you for all your services. Yeah.
Oh, that's
the kind of approach you take and everything is really lovely. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for calling and taking the time, and good luck to you. And hopefully
thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I reserved you for the adjustment of status for the upcoming bulletin. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
God bless your firm. Yeah.
Thank you very much for being on air with us.
Nice.
Absolutely. And we have another caller. Let's take this call. Hello, you're on air with Attorney Shah Peerally.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Shah.
Good morning.
I have a question. My brother and his family, they had the green card and they went to India for the education of their son, and he has finished this education and now they want to come back. And they had taken the permission initially for a couple of times, but finally, the third time when they left from here, they never took the permission. And they have been in India, and now they want to come back. So is there any way they can come back?
That's a good question. The rule is under abandonment of green card. So the question is, how long were they outside?
It's almost 5 years now.
Oh, that's going to be tough because they will have to explain why they were outside for so long. Unfortunately, if they've been there for you mean 5 years, including the one they took the re-entry permit, or 5 years after they use all the re-entry permit?
It's basically 5 years after the permit. In fact, their son, he couldn't get any proper admission here because they wanted him to start. They were considering him as a foreign student, 10+2. So he didn't want to do 10+2 here again. So he went back to India and he finished this architect course. So after 5 years, he has finished this year.
Yeah, this is the problem. The problem is to get them back now. It's not going to be that easy. What they can do, they can go to the U.S. Embassy, apply for the form SB1. S like Sam, I think B like boy, number 1. It is kind of a revalidation of the green card, but unless they prove really it was some kind of emergency matter, unfortunately the chances of approval is very low. So now if you want to look into other possibilities to bring them back, give me a call. We can do an assessment. If they qualify for something else, we will have to get a new green card, and family base will take very long unless they have some kind of U.S. citizen child or something. So unfortunately, the SB1, the approval rate is very, very low. But they can give it a shot. Go online, type SB1 and try to file it, pay the fees, get an interview. If they agree, they can come. Okay? But I can tell you right now it's going to be tough. Unless there was some kind of really life-threatening situation, like the COVID situation, or they were sick or things like that, they will probably not approve it, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, basically they went for the education because they cannot afford the education here. They were considering the child as a foreign student, and he had the green card, child also had the green card, but they were considering because he did the 12th standard back in India. So they were considering him as a foreign student and starting the 12th standard here, then going to the college, all the way to the graduation as a foreign student. So they cannot afford that, So they had to go back to India, and they had the green card. All 3 family members are remembered.
This is what you're going to put in the SB1 then. Explain the whole situation, tell the truth, and let's hope you get a nice officer. They are approving cases especially because of the COVID situation, but unfortunately, since it's 5, if it was 2-3 years, it would have been okay, but 5 years is a little bit tough. But try it because I don't want to tell you I can help you because I won't be able to do anything special on that. All you have to do, apply for that, and hopefully it works, and then they can come back. Okay?
Okay, wonderful. Good. Thank you, Mr. Shah.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you very much for calling in, and good luck. Listeners, if you also have any questions about your immigration or especially employment-based immigration, आप phone कर सकते हैं अभी. You can ask a question to Shah Peerally, Attorney Shah Peerally, right now on 510-657-1170. That's 510-657-1170. इस नंबर पे आप फोन कर सकते हैं during the show. लेकिन अगर आप शो के बाद अटॉर्नी शाह पीरली से बात करना चाहते हैं, his office number is 510-742-5887. That's 510-742-5887. You can get more information about his practice on his website, peerallylaw.com. That's PEERALLYLAW.com. Abhi ke liye, if you have a question, we have Attorney Shah Peerally till 11 a.m. Call us right now on the studio number 510-657-1170. Meanwhile, let's continue, Attorney Shah.
Yes, thank you so much, Ira. So if you have any questions, feel free to call, and you can call the office just to let you know, sometimes certain answers I cannot give on the radio because it takes too long and I need a lot more information. And we can do that through a consultation, or sometimes people will want to write, etc. So try your best, and if in case I'm not able to answer, it's not I'm not able, but it's going to take too much time, I'll ask you to call the office, 510-742-5887. And I just wanted to thank again the nice caller. It was a nice surprise, someone calling. He just won on his EB1, and that's really big. We had the show last week with Sharif, and it's also on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Shah Peerally Law. And you can subscribe to the channel. I'll try my best to update it, but sometimes I get busy. I don't have time, but at least once a week it's updated. So please subscribe to it. Now, we have few things we were discussing about. One of the things was, of course, the visa bulletin. It has not come out yet, which means we will probably get good news. And plus, it is a new fiscal year, October 1st, so we might see some really amazing, great things coming. And like the caller was saying earlier, and I was saying, we are getting a lot of approvals, and I'm very, very happy. I'm not saying we are miracle workers, but so far I'm very proud of my team. We have a very, very good team.
Right.
We do an excellent job, and that's why you're seeing a lot of those approvals. But at the same time, it seems also USCIS is working on the cases, and that gives us some courage for people, especially a lot of people cases were stuck, and then suddenly it just got unclogged, and that makes me really happy, because people were really desperate during the time of COVID. They were feeling really kind of lost, and they don't know what is happening. But the bottom line that what we are seeing also is also a situation of change in the timing of the USCIS, how they are processing cases. It is important that people understand that we are really in very abnormal times, right? It's nothing is really kind of making sense for people, but in all this chaos, we are seeing good news coming, and it's really encouraging to see that. Now, the question is it a political situation that is causing that, or does the USCIS now is unclogging their cases, they're getting more funding? There are many factors that are causing that. For one, many of those memos that were blocking cases have been kind of blocked by the memos that were really kind of being the problems are now no longer valid, many of them. Some federal judges actually kind of got rid of those memos. They kind of blocked them. And that makes the whole thing a lot easier for us and for the people applying. So cases that we were seeing like 6-7 months ago were denied, now suddenly it's approved. And also we are seeing a lot of things happening on the front of the not only on the political front, but on the front of the USCIS themselves. I think at this point they are getting more funding, and they're working more independently, and they're also realizing that, hey, we depend on that money, we depend on those immigrants, because as much as sometimes they try to push for denials, at the end of the day, those guys get paid by us, by the clients, which are the people applying. So I think all this are kind of put together is making a lot of cases approved, and we are hoping it will continue on this path. So
right.
Now,
Shah, we have a caller.
Yes.
Hello, you're on air with Attorney Shah Peerally.
Hi, I'm calling to find out have a immigration question.
I'm sorry, you are calling to find out what?
Sorry?
What's
Go
the
ahead,
question?
Question is, my friend, I have a friend who she been here in this country over 20 years, but she had a allegation like she had to leave the country. She had deportation, but she never did. And she was entered as a visitor, but she has a kid over 20-year-old, her husband's citizen, but she cannot get her, approval or any green card or any permanent residency status. So is there any option in this kind of case? You can tell us?
Well, I need a little bit more facts. You say your friend came to the U.S. long time ago, and she's still in the U.S. or she left?
Yes, she's still in the U.S. She's still here.
She came on a visitor visa or something?
Right, 20 years ago.
Okay, and her children are U.S. citizens?
Yes.
How old are they?
One is like 16, one is like 21.
Okay, the 21 might be able to file a petition for her and get her green card. You can give me a call at the office. We might be able to help you on that. So if the child is the 21...
Yes.
Yes?
Even her husband is citizen, but somehow, because she had a deportation when she was here on visitor, she overstayed. She had to leave the country. She never did.
Okay.
So it was political asylum.
We might need a 601 waiver. You might need a 601A waiver for her to get her green card. Yeah, it is possible. It's a little bit tough, but it is possible. Give me a call at the office. Let me get more facts from you, because I don't want to ask you private question on the air.
Right.
But call me at the office. We'll do a consultation, and we'll go over if it is possible to get a 601A waiver. If we get that, then yes, it might be possible to get her green card. But it's a little bit complicated, but at the same time, it is highly possible to do it. So just give me a call. We'll have Darshi in the office schedule an appointment for you, and based on that, we can talk in more details what are the possibilities. Okay?
Right. Okay, that's what I want to know. And your office number is...
The office number is 510-742-5887. 742-5887.
So we can schedule the appointment now?
You can call on that number now and speak to them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you can call the number. They will schedule the time. Thank you so much.
Okay,
so,
thank you very much.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much for calling in. In fact, Shah, why don't you just now mentioned 601A waiver, and then you were also, you gave her some advice, pretty good advice. So do you want to elaborate on that a little bit? What is a 601A waiver? That was a pretty good question.
Yeah, that's okay. A waiver is basically a forgiveness, right? So let's say you made some kind of mistakes. It doesn't apply to everything, by the way. It might work. That's why I need more facts. So it's a little. There were two kinds of prior to I think 2014, there was only one kind of waiver. It's called 601 waiver. A 601 waiver is when you kind of overstay, or you went in deportation, or you have some kind of issues, you had to go back to your home country, apply it from there, get it approved, and then you come back to the U.S. And that was risky, because once you leave and you don't get it approved, you are stuck outside. You can never come back. So under Obama, there was a rule that was passed to add a new kind of waiver, new kind of forgiveness. This is a 601A. What it does, we apply it while you're inside the U.S. and see if it is approved. If it is approved, then we'll schedule your interview. You leave the country, you go and get your interview, and you come back. So that's pretty much the difference. A waiver will require to show that there's an extreme hardship on the U.S. citizen, not on you, on the U.S. citizen. And it doesn't, and there are ways to work it out, which is a little bit tricky. Like for children, it doesn't apply. It has to be on the spouse or a parent or something like that. But there are ways to work it out that the children are related to the parents. It requires a lot of work. The 601A waiver is, in fact, I myself, I don't do a lot of them, because the hours of work you have to put in those cases are really, really immense. So you have to, we're talking almost about sometimes like 50 hours of work just to make one happen. It's really kind of complicated, unfortunately, because you have to prove not only hardship, you have to prove extreme hardship. And extreme hardship cannot even be financial hardship. For example, you cannot say, oh, my husband is depending on me and he doesn't have a job. It won't work. It has to be something like he's sick, he's almost like he needs your attention, etc., etc. So it is one way to clear things for a lot of people.
So
Now, the
from what
question
you are
is-
explaining, it probably works only in case of families, because you have to show dependency and you have to show how hard it is for families to be away from each other, but not really in case of individuals.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Because the hardship has to be usually on the spouse.
Right.
And nobody else really. So, for example, and that means you're talking, and hardship has to be on a U.S. citizen or a green card holder. So, even the green card holder, it doesn't apply. It applies only for U.S. citizen. That's where. But there are other ways. Sometimes people don't know. They might qualify for other things that they don't need that waiver. For example, someone might qualify for a marriage petition, but at the same time, they have been victims of certain crimes. And then what we can do, we can use a U visa, which doesn't require all those headaches. But the only problem with the U visa, there's a waiting time of almost 7 years, but at least you get something. So it is something very, very interesting that Obama introduced. As usual, it's all the good stuff come from him. And unfortunately, now more and more people are not using it because the chances of approval is very low.
Right.
In terms of because of the discretionary power. But now with all the things I've said, I'm hoping that it will come back for the better. So it is an interesting topic. Maybe I will talk more about it in the next coming shows, but it will require some good preparation to go over one by one of how those waivers work. And unfortunately, I don't really some people, they even specialize in doing only those waivers. I do few of them once in a while. I just don't. The reason I don't take many of them is that if I bill on an hourly, it will be almost like a $10,000 case. But we can't bill that much, so the amount of work is really exorbitant, unfortunately. But we still do them once in a while if we have a good case. And we don't want to give false hope also to people, because many times those waivers, they cost a lot of money, and at the same time, even the chances of approval are usually maybe 40%, 30%. It's not even 50% sometimes. So they are there, but it's just a matter of working really thinking outside the box to make it happen. So unfortunately, it's not given for everybody. And I know a lot of people also take advantage. When this came out, a lot of lawyers took advantage of people because it was an easy way to make money, telling everybody they qualify for it. But the truth, they don't. Even though the law was passed for the 601, the only difference with the 601A is that you don't have to apply for it outside the U.S. That means if you apply for it inside the U.S. and then you leave the country, and then you can actually if you leave the country, you apply for the 601 outside, and then you get stuck outside, you're done. You can't come back. But with the 601A, you can get the approval here, and then you can go outside the country and get your visa from there. So it is a very interesting topic. I don't talk too much about it because the approval rate is very low, and I don't want to give people false hope on that. So that's why I don't really cover a lot on this topic. But it does happen for some people, so we'll be glad to help people who want to try it.
Right. So, listeners, that was about, today we learned about the 601 waiver. If somebody qualifies for that or not is a completely different thing, and it sounds kind of tricky as well. But listeners, other than that, if you have any questions about your immigration, especially employment-based immigration, if you have a question, right now is the time to call and ask a question to Attorney Shah Peerally. आप फोन कर सकते हैं 510-657-1170 पर. That's 510-657-1170. ये है स्टूडियो का नंबर. We have about 20 more minutes to go approximately. Otherwise, you can also call his office number and make an appointment to speak with him. Office का नंबर है 510-742-5887. 510-742-5887, or simply log on to the website peerallylaw.com. That's PEERALLYLAW.com, and get more information about the practice, about how Attorney Shah Peerally and his very, very able team can help you. Yes, Attorney Shah, let's continue.
Thank you so much, Ira. And just to let people know, sometimes you can think a case is easy and it doesn't turn out to be easy. Sometimes you think a case is difficult and actually it's not. And that's where it's very important that you talk to an experienced attorney, because there's a lot of forums out there, and many people unfortunately will write nonsense, or they will write things that are not really relevant to your situation, and you will get scared. I have clients who told me, I read on the forum I cannot do this, and now I'm scared, I'm getting ready to go. And then when I look at their case, they don't have to leave the country at all. There are ways to deal with those cases. And unfortunately, more and more people are actually kind of doing that because they rely on those forums, and those forums are really not really healthy for many people. So it's not that easy to kind of deal with situations like that, especially when you have people just kind of going towards non-lawyers to get the information, and then they come back and they say, no, but I saw this. Yeah, forums are good to get at least what is happening out there, to get an idea, but they're not really good to get the law, because many times there are exceptions to the rule, and that's what we'll use as lawyers to win cases. We work very differently from cases in our home country, from lawyers in our home country in America. We use exceptions to the law to win cases very often. But and that's why you see a lot of people thinking, this happened in my case, it should happen to the other one. Yes, you see a trend oftentimes, but a trend doesn't mean it will happen to you. Like this gentleman who called earlier, everybody told him that he cannot win his case, right? Mm-hmm. And we did. That's one good example that what we see out there. But I've seen people also coming to me and saying, I'm for sure I will win because my friend win it. And I say, why would you win this case? Because there's nothing in the case that, my friend did and they had the same situation. And then when you look at their case, it's totally different. And their friend probably lied to them, or they themselves didn't understand their cases. So it is important that you at least do a consultation with an experienced lawyer. And we can do that for you if you give us a call, 510-742-5887. I don't know how much time we are left, so...
We have about 15 minutes, yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Any more callers so we can talk a little bit about the I-140 I wanted to talk about, because this is also getting interesting there.
Definitely, let's do that. If there's a caller, I will let you know.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so one of the things that a lot of people are asking me now is there are again chats on the forums or chat rooms, whatever you call it, that there will be a huge jump on the EB3. EB3 is employment-based category 3, and what happened now, a lot of people want to convert their EB2 to an EB3. It is possible, just to let you know. An I-140 of EB2 can be converted into an EB3 category. Okay, there are two situations. Number one, for example, your labor certification was started as an EB2, and ultimately you reach the labor certification, it's time to file the I-140, and you see EB3 is better for you, you can just go ahead and file the I-140 based on the EB3. I repeat that. In this case, you can just go ahead and file your I-140 based on the EB3, even if everything was done properly for an EB2. You cannot do the other way around, by the way. You cannot use an EB3 and file in the EB2. That's different. You can downgrade. Now, the other situation that we see, a lot of people, they have this EB2 I-140 already approved, and now they want to move to the EB3. Now, there is a potential to amend that amend the real the I-140 from an EB2 to an EB3. But to be honest with you, it's a painful kind of approach, and if you file it, there are risks. The risk that I often tell people is once you're asking USCIS to modify that EB3 to an EB2, they go back to the case. They dig into the entire case. So if anything that they miss, which was negative to you, it will come back. So it is important that you really kind of make sure that before you make that move, don't just check with the lawyer and review the case before you will probably have to hire a lawyer to do the amendment, but get a second opinion before you make a mistake, right? I'm not saying not to do it, because I know a lot of people are counting on EB3 now better than EB2. I personally still prefer my EB2 because I think it will clear up. EB3 is too volatile, unfortunately. Now, excuse me. Now the thing is just like how this is prepared. That's a different story, because you have to go into the case and then change it, and you cannot do it under premium processing. You have to do it under regular processing, and that's another thing that kind of causes people a lot of anguish, because during the time this is going on, that means basically it's like a surgery, right? You're going in, changing the whole thing, and if any mistakes there, guess what? You might end up dead. So this is my best way to describe this. And I got a lot of those questions in the past 1 week or so, because a lot of people are expecting the new visa bulletin will be very favorable to EB3. So if you have that issue, talk to a lawyer. You can call us and we can assess your case before you make any move.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the solution also is, any callers?
No.
Yeah. The other solution is to find a different company and file completely a labor certification with an EB3 category. So it is another one of the options that you can take, because that will protect both. Then you can have the EB2 and the EB3 going on. By the way, there's no conflict between those, right? You can have an EB1, EB2, EB3 going on at the same time. However, the same company cannot have pretty much two labor certifications at the same time. Although there are exceptions to that rule, I don't recommend anybody to try that. Okay, so it is again important that you really talk to people who are experienced, and even people who are experienced have to be updated with the law. I pretty much spend at least 1 or 2 hours a day kind of educating myself what's happening out there and trying to pull the law, etc. And the truth is that even that sometimes I miss issues, because the subject is vast and the changes and the Trump is like on a daily basis. Just like everything he says, immigration is going through the same process. But having said that, many of the basic things are the same, so we can still relate and still make the case happen. So only it is also not really kind of recommended to kind of play with an I-140 when you already have an approval. So think well before you make that move to EB3. So now I think we have another 10-15 minutes.
We have 10 minutes, yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to talk now a little bit about the H4 EAD, because that's another frequently asked questions. As you know, there were a lot of discussions before COVID about what will happen to the H4 EAD. A lot of people, including myself, was giving up, saying that, hey, it's going to go away. But it doesn't seem it's going away, which is great news, luckily for many people, because this was a really hard fight to get this, to make this happen. And now that it is here, if they had taken it away, it would have been heartbreaking. But luckily, since 2015, when the H4 EAD was passed, it's been 5 years strong, and I think it will continue being strong, depending who wins the election. And I think Trump himself is not very interested in taking it out. So that might be some good news for all of us. Now, the question that a lot of people are really asking now, when they're filing the extensions, when are they going to get their H4? And that for many people have taken forever, sometimes 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. But right now, based on all those cases we are seeing, the only thing that was holding the H4, because when you file the case, it's the H4 that takes time, not really the EAD. And you have to do what we call a biometrics, which is the fingerprint. And unfortunately, I think because of security reasons, that's what I understood it, maybe I'm wrong, they they have delayed a lot of those fingerprints because they couldn't really kind of guarantee the safety of the people. And plus, they didn't have people to work, they were not getting paid, etc., etc. So that's why you're seeing such a big delay on this H4. By the way, back in the days, the H4 didn't require a fingerprint. So it's kind of they put something and now that thing becomes the hurdle for everybody. But having said that, a lot of cases are clearing now and hopefully we will have a clearer picture in the near future. So again, if you are eligible for an H4 EAD, yeah, go ahead.
So my question was, you also mentioned, I think in a couple of shows, couple of weeks ago, you had said that the right way is to file the H4 and the EAD together. But what if someone has filed for an H4, finally gotten their extension, and then they should apply for an EAD? So how long is just the EAD taking now? Because earlier it used to be not so long, and now because of fingerprinting, you think it's because the process has become longer?
The truth is that in some cases you don't have a fingerprint on the EAD alone.
Okay.
It's only the H4 that is getting the EAD, the fingerprint. But I've seen also cases where they ask for the fingerprint on the EAD. So it's kind of unfortunately like case by case, which should not be the rule. But it seems like either they're confused or they're just doing it. But it's taking between 1 to 3 months if it's only the EAD.
3 months, okay.
Approximately 3 months. So let's. We don't know what exactly will be the near future, but based on all the cases we are having, when things are moving, I will hope that things will get better in the near future. But COVID is not getting better. Things are just pretty much is in a limbo situation in many places. So that means also the processing places are already overwhelmed, and ultimately it is having an impact on the cases. But yeah, it is 1 to 3 months for it to happen, unfortunately. But at the same time, it is highly. We are hoping that it will be less time soon. That's what my hope is.
Fingers crossed. Let's see how it goes. Let's hope it works out for everybody. Meanwhile, listeners, we have 5 more minutes to go. So if you have any questions, you can call us right away on 510-657-1170. That's the studio number, 510-657-1170. लेकिन अगर आप अटॉर्नी शाह पीरली से शो के बाद बात करना चाहते हैं तो नंबर आप मिला सकते हैं 510-742-5887, 510-742-5887, or you could log on to the website peerallylaw.com. We have a caller over here. Hello, you're on air with Attorney Shah Peerally.
Hi, my name is Mohammed, and I have a question. I have 2 questions, and I think it's really quick.
Yeah, sure.
So, I petitioned for my mom, and they already submit. I think approve everything, and they said they're gonna send the file to the I think NVC, and it's already 3 months now. So do you know how long they take? Usually, after approving,
it takes around 3-4 months.
All the civil documents.
It takes around 3-4 months. If you don't get anything, you can send an email to the National Visa Center and find out. Otherwise, if you're feeling more uncomfortable, you can give us a call. We can inquire for you and kind of take over the case if you want to.
Okay. My second question is, I also petitioned for my siblings, but there's no one is going to be with them, and they are above 21. So is there any way to bring them here, and then we can change the status?
Not really, unfortunately. If they want to come here, they can maybe come on a student visa and things like that, because they probably will not qualify. Now, what you can be done is, if your parents are here, for example, your mom or your dad, if they're not married, they can file for them as green card holder, filing for an unmarried child. It takes around 6 years, 7 years to get cleared. But I already
filed the petition for them. Still, they can file the petition for him, or they can, change the name under. They can take that file under their name.
No, you'll have to file a new one. You cannot transfer
the
that
new one.
file.
There's no way to change the name, right?
Yeah, because that's a sibling petition you filed, because he's your brother, right? But it's not, your parents' petition will be a different one. It will go a little bit faster. So you can keep the other one, let it run, and file this one, and whichever comes first, you take it, okay?
Oh, so we can file like two together. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You can have two together. You're welcome. And let me know if you need any help, okay?
Sure.
And I think you're welcome. So I don't think we have a lot of more time left, so we won't be able to take more callers, right, Ira?
So we have 2 minutes. Actually, we have 2 minutes left, yeah. So no more callers right now. But listeners, remember, you can always call the office number, even now, right now, as we speak. आप फोन कीजिए उनके ऑफिस नंबर पर 510-742-5887. ज़्यादा इन्फॉर्मेशन के लिए आप उनकी वेबसाइट पे जाइए. अगर आपको नंबर्स याद नहीं रहते, if you like me and cannot remember numbers, log on to the website peerallylaw.com. That's PEERALLYLAW.com. That's the website जहाँ आपको सारी information मिल जाएगी as to what all areas are covered under their practice, how they can help you, how long they've been in in the industry, and you'll know everything. So you can do your own research and then get any help if you need. So, Attorney Shah, we are about 2 minutes, actually 1.5 minutes away from the end of the show. What else would you like to say?
Well, I just wanted to let people know, things are tough, right? It's not easy right now for nobody, even for us, for you, for all of us. Even the richest people right now on earth are under stress. But for immigrants, it's double stress. They have the COVID, the loss of jobs, plus more than double, plus the immigration issue. Only thing I can tell them is that, hey, hanging there. We still are getting cases approved. No matter what happens for the elections, hopefully immigration will still be there, and we will be there to help you. And it is important that you don't get conned by a lot of those fake lawyers or whatever people are trying to take money from you. And even real lawyers, sometimes they will lie to you and tell you things because they're desperate to get your business. Luckily, we are not in that situation, and we are happy when, like I said to the caller earlier, if a case is you don't need me to do the case, I won't take it because I think it's unfair on you. So it's I will tell you that honestly, and unless you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, then we will handle it for you. So it is important that you check the reviews, nobody has the best perfect reviews. If someone has perfect reviews, then there's something weird happening. But at least check how many good reviews and how genuine they are when they come out. And it's important that you also realize that immigration, so you need someone who's an artist to work on the case. And I wanted to thank you all for the listeners. And again, anything I'm telling you today, I've been telling you today, is my opinion. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. 510-742-5887. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. We'll be back next week.
Thank you, Attorney Shah. Thank you very much for being here. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. You stay tuned to Radio Zindagi.